These are the top 10 biggest crashes of my F4 multiplayer series in BeamNG, and they get progressively bigger as the video goes on. Enjoy. Blazin, Ido and Seth are all neck and neck at the front of the field. Getting twitchy there is Avery, who's made up a bunch of positions. Oh no, and Oscar's gone off, and Oscar spins off into the barriers. Bones also gets hit from behind as we go into the first corner, and the car goes barrel rolling off into the gravel there, but we continue racing. Seth leads the race so far, Ido in second and Blazin in third. And that is Avery there in the gravel trap, flipped over at the start. I'm hearing that Wizard has front wing damage from an earlier incident, but we'll have a replay first of Avery's incident. And it looks like Greenius is the one that just goes a little bit deep and hits Avery, who has a very dramatic roll off and into the gravel. The rookie Greenius getting into trouble straight away. We're going to watch the onboard perspective here, and just goes too deep and into the side of Avery. It'll be tough to avoid a penalty for that one. We'll have a look at Avery's perspective on the incident as well. Avery had made a flying start getting past plenty of cars and could have been even higher up as we head through the first corner, but then Greenius comes steaming in and sends him rolling out of the race. And all the cars are very bunched up at the back of the field there, going wheel to wheel through the banked corner there. Avery and Wizard getting very close, but it looks like Avery is just slightly ahead as Blurry has a massive lead now. Oh, and Wizard's in the wall, and that's a massive crash. A full 360 roll there as he goes careering into the barriers, as Pens must have spun earlier. He's at the back of the field now. But Wizard is out of the race in his first time racing in the series. We'll have a look at some of the replays of that massive crash that we saw from Wizard. So here's his onboard. Quite gutsy, jumping down the inside of almost two cars there, getting Avery, who will come back on the inside in that chaotic hairpin corner. Avery gets the position back, but then doesn't have the optimal line through the banked corner. So that means that Wizard can now get slightly ahead, and then Avery starts to inch back on exit again. Going for the slipstream, then Wizard just loses it in a very odd way, and then has a very violent crash there, smashing into the barriers. He was very lucky not to take anyone else out. Looking at another external view, this might give us a better picture of exactly what happened. There was just so many cars in such a small space there. It was bound for trouble in some way or another, and in the end it was Wizard that paid the price. It almost looks like Avery might have chopped across a bit there, but we could see there wasn't any contact on the onboard. The cars were all still very close together as Bones is starting to pull away for a bit of a lead, and Apex trying to go down the inside of another car. Oh, and Bones is off into the grass and he'll spin. Pen Striker takes the lead and all the cars take avoiding action. Burning is off into the grass. He cuts across the track and oh, that's a massive crash. Farm Boy is taken out by Burning, who had lost control at that point. He was on the grass and he might have touched the wall there, and we'll have a moment to look at a couple of replays now. We'll have to cut back to that battle in a second. But this is a crash in the opening lap. Burning just losing it on the grass and then hitting the wall, and by then he couldn't control his car, and so Farm Boy was a sitting duck, just unfortunate to be in the path of the car. And this was all caused by Bones' initial spin, which sent the grid into chaos, and that's a very heavy impact for those two cars there. At the moment, Burning is classified ahead of Farm Boy, but that might change with the penalty coming his way, because that probably was avoidable if he hadn't have gone onto the grass. Riding on board with the unlucky Farm Boy, who barely avoids Bones. That was already a good enough save there, but then another car comes to collect him as Burning loses complete control. Farm Boy was an innocent bystander in that one. Avery up 2 positions in 3rd position now as the drivers come towards Village. Pen Striker up the inside, but Bones will keep the lead as we head through. Oh, and there's contact, and Greenius is upside down. He's been flipped over, and there's more contact with Oscar, who has lost his front wing, and Apex there also out, and immediately a red flag because there are cars blocking the track. A dramatic start to this race. We've lost 2 cars already, so let's have a look at what happened. So we're on board with Apex, who is coming into Village. Lost a few positions off the start, maybe perhaps pushing a bit too hard, and has a bit of wheel spin, spins around, and Greenius goes clobbering over the car. Board with Greenius now, who's been taken out twice at the very start of the races, and Apex is just going to spin into his path. There's not much he can do, and around he goes. The camera footage actually paused there due to damage to the camera, and here's another angle of it from behind. Very violent accident for the low speeds, and the domino effect meant that Miko got caught behind, who then made contact with Oscar, but that'll all be resolved in the red flag order. Unfortunate for both Greenius and Apex, who were hoping to score points today. Greenius starting a bit further back, but Apex starting from 4th. As all the cars rocket down towards corner 1, as we head towards corner 1. Oh, is Oscar going to go for a move? Oh, that was so nearly contact there. Oh no, and Ido is flipped upside down. He goes into the gravel. And there's another incident at the back, but it looks like Oscar's already challenging for the lead. Let's have a look at what happens at the start here. Riding on board with Ido, who just got passed by Burning, and is now going to try to get past him in the first corner by braking later. And he does get around, but then Burning seems to have a snap of oversteer, and obviously that sends Ido barreling into the gravel in a very dramatic crash there, and everyone will go past. That's race over for him. Very unfortunate, because he's been looking forward to this one for a while. Here's Burning's perspective, and he just has a bit of a snap in the corner. Unfortunately, that's not really fair on Ido, so he'll be getting a penalty for that. And then Bones gets up the inside, and Burning goes off the track. And that must be where he got his floor damage there, trying to get back on the track over the curb. And a similar thing happened to Farmboy, just forced a bit wide and not able to keep his line on the track, and ends up in the gravel and unable to get out. Going for the lead of the race and into the braking zone, Oscar outbrakes Avery and takes the lead into the castle section now, the most technical section of the track. Very difficult, very easy to screw up. Oh, and Oscar crashes, and he's going to block the track there as the cars run into each other to stop. We've had a red flag instantly called a red flag, so the order will be called from the moment that Oscar hit the barriers. None of this chaos will affect the order. Blurry and Ido Dodota heading down the hangar straight now, and Blurry will try to get a slipstream to make the move. He's gaining on Ido. Oh, and there's contact, and he goes flying into the air. So high there, and Ido is set into a nasty spin, and a crash landing, more like an aeroplane crash there from Blurry, and both cars are out of the race. Another car sent flying into the stratosphere, and this time, both drivers are out. Ido is in a bit of a precarious position there on the side of the road, but the race has been continued as we go into the 3rd lap now. And still some battles there. Apex already on the back of Blazin, slowly moving his way up into the field at 5th now because of those 2 cars going out, and then Avery also catching Burning up. But we'll have a look at a replay of that incident, because it was quite the peculiar one, and that airtime is crazy. He must be at least 10 meters in the air or something like that. You do not often see that in racing car crashes. This is an airplane crash if I've ever seen one. Very unfortunate for both drivers involved, as we watch Ido's onboard, and he's just going to get a big old whack from the back and then goes spinning around, and you can see the crazy airtime that Blurry got. We'll see it in person here on board and approaching, and there's very sudden slowdown, so perhaps it's a glitch, and then all Blurry can see is the clouds in the sky. Oh, and Ido's struggling there as he swerves around the track. It looks like he's carrying some sort of damage in his rear tire. Oh no, and Halos makes contact and is launched into the wall and flips back upright, but with both his front tires off the car. And Ido is also on the wall. Halos is trying desperately to continue, but I think it's the end for him. He'll have to settle for 9th position in this race, but it will still get him 2 points. Ido seems pretty keen to get out of it. He's still got some tires strapped to the front of his car, and the pits are only down the end of his straight, so he should be able to make it back. But Halos won't even be able to steer that thing. He has no front tires at all. Avery, Blazin and Bones all getting free positions because of that incident. Only half a lap remaining. Miko is running out of time to get his first ever win in the series, and a bucket load of points in the effort to chase down Oscar, who is out of this race. So everything counts for double at the moment as we head to the long right-hander and down the back straight. This is the last real overtaking opportunity for Miko, and he has a brilliant exit. He's trying to go past. Ido defends. There's weaving. There's contact, and they're both out of the race. And it's a massive crash. Both of them spinning out. The leaders are out on this race, and Blurry will come through and take the lead of the race. Blazin jumping over the tire there, and Lottie X also going through the damage. He'll claim a podium as we head towards corner 3. Oh no, and Burning has run into the back of Apex, and he smashes into the runoff there, going over a couple of times, and it looks like Blurry has also been taken out in that incident there. A key player in the championship out in the 3rd corner already. So we'll have just another quick look now before the restart. So this is going into turn 3 here, and I think Burning has just missed his braking point, and he's taken out Apex and Blurry because of it. Apex and Blurry doing nothing wrong, and Bones actually quite lucky to avoid the incident there, being in the right place at the right time. as you can see, burning, hitting the cars and then doing a full rollover and ending up out of his race. You can get a good look at his livery there. Probably not the best race to use his special livery, but at least we get a nice look at it now. Watching on board with Bones, who was right behind and gets a good view of the incident. This will definitely be some sort of penalty, probably a 3-place penalty for the next race for burning. And here's his onboard of the incident, just missing his braking point, and really unfortunate for the 2 drivers that he took out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that, then make sure you check out the rest of the races on my channel. The full replays and highlights are available there, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one when it comes out. We still have a whole half a season of racing to go and plenty more crashes to come with it. So until then, see ya.